Nicole. So for today's video, I decided that I am going to roast myself and I thought it would be fun to react to my old college plates. So for those of you who are new to my channel, hi, I'm Nicole. I studied BS Architecture in the University of the Philippines. I am finally done with college, and that's why I finally feel like I have the right to critique my work. So I'm just going to quickly explain the structure of this video because it's kind of a new format for me. So first, this is going to be the first out of 3 reacting to my old plates videos. So for today, we are going to be reacting to my plates from 2nd year to 3rd year. I will not be reacting to my plates from 1st year simply because all those plates were manual and they were on these huge tracing papers and they all sucked. And so I don't have any of my plates from 1st year. So today we are starting with 2nd year. For the 2nd video, I will be reacting to my 2 mini theses from 4th year. And for the 3rd video, I will be reacting to my thesis, which was my plate for the entire year of 5th year. So for each plate that I will be showing you today, I will focus mainly on the PowerPoint because the PowerPoint is kind of the plate packaged. It has the concept, the explanations, it has the perspectives, and sometimes we put the walkthrough at the end of the PowerPoint as well. I will also try to show you the boards as well as pictures of the scale model if the plate has those as well. So for the plates that I will be showing you today, some were done individually, meaning I did them on my own, and some were done by group, meaning I did them with my group mates. So I will be telling you guys if they were done individually or by group because I will never take credit for all of the work that was done by an entire group. So yeah, that was a really long intro. This video is going to be so freaking long, so let's just get into it. So for 2nd year, a lot of the plates were still manual and these were some of the outputs. I don't have the others because like I said, if I don't like the plate, I throw them away. So first is this one. So this is for ARC 22. So this plate was focused on understanding spirit of place. So ang pinagawa sa amin is pinapunta kami sa Quezon Memorial Circle and the goal of the plate was of course to understand the spirit of place of the Quezon Memorial Circle. This is how my plate turned out. Ang sipag ko that I even made these small little tickets. It actually has my information, like my name, my student number, when I passed it. I even made a CD that is so cute. It has a playlist of the songs that I felt like captured the spirit of place of Quezon Memorial Circle. It has Skater Boy by Avril Lavigne. I think this plate was mostly sketches and pictures. Look at how bad that map looks. A lot of people ask me if you have to be good at drawing to take architecture. No. I feel like I'm living proof that you don't have to be like extremely good at drawing or sketching because I made it through, so. Look at that sketch. Well, this sketch isn't that bad, but it is so plain. It's literally just the monument. For this sketch as well, there's literally nothing else. Well, this sketch is a little bit better. This sketch, it's okay. I remember now why I put Skater Boy in the playlist. It's because we interviewed a couple of skater boys there at the park. The skater boys were nice, a little bit flirty, but for the rest of this, it's just pictures of the places that we went to, the people we interviewed. Here are the skater boys. Look how cute that is. Like, it opens like that. And my table is inside. That is so cute. I'd say this plate wasn't too bad. I feel like my sketches could have been a little bit better, but I feel like I was able to achieve what was asked for, so. Alright, so moving on to the 2nd plate, it is also from ARC 22. So it is the Multimodal Road Transport Terminal. My concept was pause. All designs have open spaces, greenery, and commercial stalls to make it a relaxing pause point for the users. Hindi ko maalala kung mema yun or if Concept ko ba talaga yun? Okay, so scheme 1, this is my initial sketch. I'm so bad at sketching. Why does it look like this? Look at my trees. I kind of remember na minamadali ko yung initial sketches nito. Maybe I crammed them, that's why they look like this. But look at my shadows. That is just not right. Design development. Cute, naka-Polaroid pa siya. Okay, so this is how that initial sketch developed. I rendered this kind of okay. The trees look better. Oh my gosh, look, I am crazy. This is my ground floor, and instead of drawing it, I decided that I was gonna cut it from craft paper. Do you guys see those white rectangles? Those are parking slots for buses, for jeepneys, for other PUVs, and they're cut from paper. I don't know kung efficient yon yung ginawa kong to. I mean, it looks really cute, but was it really that efficient? But if that's scheme 1, does that mean I did it for all 3? Okay, so scheme 2, it still looks like shit. Design development, and this is how that initial scheme would turn out. This is kind of cute. It looks like an ice cream cone. Oh my god, I did it for this scheme then. Scheme 3. For scheme 3, I didn't have an initial sketch, just the final sketch. So it looks like this. I feel like this is the sketch that actually looks like a building. It's not the most innovative building, but it looks like a building. Oh my god. I did it for all 3 schemes. I'm crazy. Alright, so that is the last plate that I can show you from second year. Alright, so before we move on to my plates from third year, I wanted to give you guys my first tip, which is to study how to render whenever you can. So there will be a time where your plates will transition from being manual to being digital. So your plates will go from being drawn on these tracing papers to being made on these digital softwares like AutoCAD or SketchUp. So this transition in the plates that are given to you will obviously require an acquisition of new skills. We were taught how to use AutoCAD and SketchUp, but not really V-Ray. So we kind of had to study rendering ourselves. Whether the basics are taught to you or whether it is not, I still highly recommend that you study on your own how to render, because the more time that you practice how to render, the better the renders will turn out. Also, the more that you practice with your renders, the faster you will be at rendering, and you will also kind of figure out the kinds of renders that you want to produce, which is really important because that contributes to your design and how it's presented and to your overall style as a designer. So that's step number 1. So for us at the University of the Philippines, the transition from mostly manual plates to mostly digital plates was from second year to third year. So during third year, most of our plates and our submissions were digital. Another big transition from second year to third year was that from individual plates, they transitioned into mostly group plates. So with that, I would like to share with you guys tip number 2, which is if you are given the choice to pick your group mates, please pick them wisely. Especially if you know that the plate will run for a long time. Because if your group mates aren't the best, imagine needing to put up with them for half of the semester, or even worse, the entire semester. So pick them wisely. With that, I present to you Nicole's pointers for picking group mates. So pointer number 1 is to pick people who you know have good work ethic or kind of has the same work ethic as you. Because what you're going to realize in college is that people work in different ways. So for example, there are people who, when the plate is given, they work on it immediately and they work a little bit every day so that when the deadline is nearing, they only have a little bit of work left. And then there are people who work best when they are under time pressure. So these are the people who are most efficient and most creative when the deadline is nearing. They start the plate maybe 5 or like 3 or sometimes even 2 days before the deadline. I am definitely the first kind. So what really worked for me in a group was having people who worked the same way that I did. If I had a group mate who liked to work just a couple of days before the deadline, it would not have worked for me simply because by that time, nasisimulan niya ng mag-work on the plate. Ang dami ko nang nagawa because I started it early on. And ang mangyayari is, onti na lang yung matitirang work na pwede niyang gawin. So because of our differences in how we work, dun mo makikita na magkakaroon ng unfair distribution of work. So to avoid that, just pick someone who works the same way that you do. So for tip number 2, pick people who are willing to compromise. Because when you are working on a plate, there will be times when you guys won't agree. If you are with a group of people who are willing to compromise, you will get the job done. I feel like this is also a reminder for ourselves when we're in a group. We should know when to let go of an idea even though we thought it was really, really cool. And we should know when to acknowledge when someone's idea is better than ours. Okay, so R31 was my design class and all of the plates were by group. For this entire semester, I just worked with one group that consisted of me, Andrea Liu, and Danica Yao. So for the first plate, it is called Pulse, the central hub of UP Diliman. So I'm skipping the project goals because I honestly don't remember if we took that seriously. This slide is pretty cute. I remember doing the graphics for this. So this is the first perspective. So for these perspectives, I think it was either Andrea or Danica who did the perspectives using Lumion. I did not do these perspectives. I remember one of our biggest problems was figuring out where to render, because at this point we didn't know how to render because, like I said, it wasn't really taught to us. We were panicking so bad because the deadline was nearing and we did not have any perspectives. It's a good thing one of the upperclassmen was like, if you're in a rush, the best thing is to just use Lumion. He was right. Lumion was super fast. You just turn the SketchUp files to Collada files, then you import it into Lumion, and that's basically it. You tweak some of the materials, of course, and you add entourage and trees, but it really is faster with Lumion. Ooh, this perspective is really cute. I remember I photoshopped this perspective though because I changed the sky. I added some trees, I think. Do you guys see like the louvers outside the building? I remember when I was doing this building, because I was assigned to do this building, I did not know how to give a building character. What I did was just add louvers to the outside. I think all of our buildings had louvers. Yeah. During consultation, the prof was like, ano yan? Louvers, sir. It's going to shade the inside of the building because our building was mostly glass. And then the prof was like, okay. Pero may computations yan And we were like, obviously it was our first plate in 3rd year, so we still didn't know how to compute for louvers. We didn't even know that there were computations for louvers. So this is an aerial perspective of our site. I think I photoshopped this as well. What I did wrong is that sky lang yung background, which is wrong because from this view, you should still be able to see ground at the back and then the horizon and then the sky. So mali yung ginawa ko. It looks like the site tuloy is floating in the sky. I didn't do a lot of renders because I remember I was tasked to do the diagrams and the PowerPoint. But I did do a couple and this is one of them and it looks really bad. I'm so sorry, Danica and Andrea. This perspective looks so bad. Do you guys see the person on the 2nd floor? The person with their hands raised? The railing is almost up to their head. The railings are so high. The railings are not to scale. Yeah, my railings are really high. I did such a bad job. I'm so sorry. Tapos na. Okay, so that is the first plate. For our second plate, it is called On the Rocks Coron Boutique Resort Hotel. I again worked on the PowerPoint and the diagrams, and I think Andrea and Danica did the perspectives. I remember that for this PowerPoint, I was just really proud that the colors would change. Nakuha namin yun kay Gio. So we kind of zoned our site into 3, from private, semi-private to public. Also, the topography of the site was kind of crazy. It went uphill because if I remember correctly, it was on a mountain. So I also did these form-finding diagrams. I wish what I did was number 1 was on the left, so that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to 4 on the left, which is kind of counterintuitive because you read from left to right. Wow, I put a lot of icons on this page. That's a PowerPoint tip for you guys though. If you feel like a page is kind of dull or kind of boring, one way to spice it up is adding icons. Just make sure that the icons make sense. I will leave a link below to the icons website that I used. I think the name of the website was flaticons.com. Again, I will link it down below. There was not a single digital plate that I did not use that website for my PowerPoints. So the diagrams are in yellow. To highlight vertical circulation, those are in teal. So this is the 3rd floor. It has the garden, the game room, the gym, and the dorm rooms. So floor 4, you have the standard rooms. This is how the rooms look like. Floor 5, you have the suites. This is how the suites look like. I remember that for each suite, there was a pool on the terrace. Structurally, I don't know how to execute this, but wouldn't that be cool that when you rent a room, you have your own pool on the terrace overlooking the mountains? And on the 6th floor is just the deck. So there's a pool as well, a bar, and a shower room. So this is the layering for our main building. So this is the approach perspective. So we had a main building and then we had 3 smaller buildings. So we had a single detached restaurant. Our main lobby was also single detached, as well as our spa. I remember I did the 3D modeling for this spa, and stupid 3rd year Nicole did not know how to use plugins. Mano-mano kong ginawa yung cone roof. I'm not quite sure kung paano ko siya minano-mano, but I think it turned out pretty okay. That's a SketchUp tip for you guys. If you are trying to do something a little bit complex on SketchUp, always Google first if there is a plugin that can help you execute your idea, because the number of plugins available is insane. I wish I had known that when I was doing the 3D modeling for this part of the plate, but you live and you learn. And yeah, so that concludes it for this plate. I think in general, 3rd year first semester was definitely challenging, but because I had such reliable group mates, it made things so much smoother for me. And because we were all friends, it was fun working on the plate in general. We also had a really good design prof for that semester, so it made things extra fun for us. And with that, I wanted to talk about the 2 kinds of groupmates that you could have. So the first is the groupmate who generally kind of has the same design approach as you, and the second is obviously the groupmate who generally has a different design approach as you. So there are of course pros and cons for each. So the pro to the first one, working on the plate could be a lot faster. There is emphasis on the could be because of course there are a lot of factors that go into how fast or slow your group does a plate. But from personal experience, when I work with people who generally have the same design approach as me, we work on the plate so much faster. So decision time is cut down because less time is needed for debate and discussions, because most of the time we're kind of already on the same page. We generally kind of have the same solution to a design problem or interpretation of a concept, or same overall aesthetic that we're going for a plate. Of course, there is a con to this, but again, this is all just from my personal experience. The con to this was that I wasn't learning anything that was outside of my comfort zone. Although I was trying, I wasn't completely thinking out of the box because my mind was still kind of just running on my autopilot. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I wasn't completely challenging my designs. And with that, we go into the pro of working with a groupmate who generally has a different design approach as you. Of course, a pro to that is that you are learning from that groupmate. You are learning from their thinking process because it is kind of different from yours. You see how different their solutions to design problems are. You see how differently they interpret concepts. And of course, you see how that different way of thinking about design translates into a different kind of output. So there is obviously a lot to learn from people who think differently from you, but just be careful because of course a con to this is that it may make working on the plate a little bit longer simply because there's just a lot more that you have to understand about one another. In really bad cases, your designs might even clash and you guys might even fight, which is never a good thing, especially when you're cramming a plate. The last thing that you want is to be in a fight with your groupmate. But again, it all boils down to if they have good work ethic or the same kind of work ethic as you, and if they are willing to compromise. Because at the end of the day, even though you guys may have different design approaches, if they work well with you and they are willing to compromise with you, then the plate will still get done.